health miracle. When I realized this formula, I had personal transformations. If you missed the other 2 days, take a look at my YouTube, because this is the third part to a 5-part series. Take a look at my YouTube for the past days. I went over my whole story, how in 7 days it changed my life. And it's changed so many other people. I've seen people have financial miracles within 7 days. I've seen people break 10-year addictions in 1 day. I've seen people earn $10,000 in 1 day. Like, there's been amazing things that happen when you apply God's principles into your life properly. There's amazing things that can happen there. All right. So today I'm going to discuss, and if you're interested, by the way, in grabbing the book, comment book below or take a look at my bio. I'm updating my website as we speak, but if you reach out to me privately, it is on Amazon. You can grab it from there, but straight up, it's more expensive there. So if you message me privately, the word book, I can get you to that book, and it'll be very, very simple. Just $15. It's $20 on Amazon, $15 here. All right. But let me go over one of the principles here, which is why fasting is the X factor to getting you unstuck. Now, fasting is one of the principles, spiritual principles, I believe is least used. You might be a person of prayer. I believe, and maybe you're someone that, if you're a Bible person, you read the Bible, maybe you go to church. But when it comes to fasting is one of those things, especially in today's culture, that seems really weird. Fasting, I don't know about you, but when I read through the Bible and I saw fasting, I'm like, oh, that's cool for them, but that ain't for me. Because we live in a day and age now where we are overfed and undernourished. We live in a day and age now where food is plentiful. It's everywhere. We don't know hunger, especially out here in North America and in many places around the world. But fasting, if you take a look all throughout Scripture, is what Jesus did before he went into his public ministry. It's what Moses did before he received the 10 Commandments. It's what Esther did for 3 days to be able to literally reverse a genocide. It's what Paul did for 3 days when he was becoming Saul from Paul. If you look at many of the great men and women of the Bible, Elijah, he fasted for 40 days as well too. When they wanted spiritual power, they were able to have miracles in their life. And especially in today's day and age, why are we not breaking through? Why are we worried? Why are we concerned? Why are we not getting the right ideas? Why are we not breaking through in your businesses and your finances? I believe that fasting is the X factor. Here's why. Okay. I want to educate you on this. I hope you can understand. I coach people on how their mind works to be able to have amazing results in your life and your business. But here's something that you need to understand. Okay. If you want to break through in your life, we can determine breakthrough as a result. Results come as a reaction or a byproduct of our actions from our body. But our body receives impulses and inspiration called emotions from our mind, but specifically not our conscious mind, it's your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind, we think 60,000 thoughts a day. 95% of those are subconscious. They're the same as they were the day before. Subconscious communicates with emotion, not words, not logic, not reason. Subconscious just is. So what happens is this: whatever our subconscious believes will lead to emotions that cause our body to take some type of action. So if you believe you're a top money earner in your business, boom, you're going to take top money earner actions in your life. If you believe that you are able to have amazing, healthy, incredible relationships, you're going to then be inspired to then do the right things that will lead to the right relationships. Does that make sense? Put a 2 in the comments if that makes sense at all. So why is it that fasting is our X factor for breakthrough? Because this is what happens. Our mind is going to be influenced by just a couple of things. We have a body, we have a mind, we have a spirit. If you want a miracle in your life, that means that we want God in our life, because God is a miracle. Miracles come from him. In fact, God is, and he just is a miracle. We're not miraculous, God is. So if we want God's presence in our life, we need to make sure that his spirit can flow into our lives. And we need to make sure that our minds are influenced by the spirit. I hope this makes sense. Why is fasting have anything to do with this? Because most of us are more influenced by our body than our spirit. Your stomach is the thing that's in the way of your spiritual breakthrough. Your human desires are in the way of your major breakthrough and getting unstuck. For it's not just food. Think about how much time, let's just think about food itself, right? How much time a day do you think about food? Do you think about it? Do you eat it? Do you cook it? Do you clean after it? It takes a long time. And every single time you think about food, that influences your mind to just think about the now and then. Anytime that you spend thinking about food, you're not thinking about the spirit. Let's take it even further as well, too. It's not just food. But how about other desires in our life that are not necessarily a spiritual desire? For example, you want to have power, but only for self-affirmation, not for the glorification of God, not for serving humanity. You want to make money because you're desperate. But for anyone that is in the kingdom, there is no desperation. There is no lack. Right? If you connect yourself to the kingdom, it says, if you seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all of these things will be added to you. There's no lack in the kingdom. So if you're worried, if you're concerned, if you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're concerned about what other people think about you, these are emotions that are not spiritual. What's up, Derek? Great to see you. They're not spiritual. They are of this world. So the things that are holding you back, holding me back from the major breakthrough, are not letting our minds be influenced by our spiritual selves, but it's our minds being influenced by our body, this earth, this world. Does this make sense? All right. So what does this all mean? Why is fasting the X factor to getting you unstuck? Well, the easiest way to kill your desire, to kill your appetite for the world, wanting to be famous, wanting to only be rich just for your own pleasure, wanting to just dominate over other people, wanting to just like fulfill your own self-righteousness, whatever that it is. The easiest ways, instant gratification is another one. The easiest way to be able to starve that appetite is literally by starving the body. Huh? How does that work? When you fast, which is abstaining from food for a duration of time. Now, there's other types of fasts. I go through it in my book. There's social media fast. There's intermittent fasting. A lot of fasting. They're all cool. But fasting, biblically, is the spiritual reason for removing yourself from food so that you can starve the body and you can feed the mind. You can starve the body, you can feed the spirit. It's like when you starve the body, you're feeding your spiritual side of you, because then you start to lean on him. Then you start to lean on your spirit. Then you start to hear more. That's why when you crush this appetite for food, for pleasure, and this is what happened with me. When I fasted for 7 days and I literally ate no food, it was just a water only fast. You know what started to happen? I noticed that I had less temptation to be impatient. I would be in an argument with my wife and I wouldn't argue because I'm like, I don't want to argue right now. The things that were not helpful for me, the things that I knew I shouldn't do, you know, those bad habits that we all have that are really hard to break. It's like those appetites just go away. That's why Pam, one of my friends, she did this fast. And in the first day, she had a 10-year-old gaming addiction. She just could not get off the video games. She just craved it. She loved it. But the first day when she fasted, she had no desire to play games anymore. Why? When you starve the body, you starve it of the other desires as well too, and you're starting to feed your spirit. So fasting, if you're looking to get unstuck, if you're looking to achieve miraculous breakthroughs, if you want God to show up powerfully in your life, fasting is the simplest principle that is probably the most lost principle in the world, that if you choose to do it, you're going to see how this is going to help unlock your ability to receive more thoughts from your spiritual side, to be able to start to reprogram your mind in a proper way, to be able to start to get different types of things in your life. When you starve the body, you feed the spirit. And if you implement fasting, then you have prayer, then you have Bible study. You implement these things in conjunction, what we call the Miraculous Breakthrough Formula. That's when God shows up powerfully in your life. And I'm telling you this, God can do more in one day than we can do in a lifetime. And if you're in a place right now that you're seeking a breakthrough, if you're in a place right now that you've been stuck, if you're in a place right now where in your business, it feels like things are against you. In your life, it feels like things are against you. In your relationships, it things like bad luck are happening. Some area in your life, you're desperate for change. I'd submit to you, try out what God has to say in his promises. Whether you believe in him or not, principles are principles. And if you apply these three things, fasting, prayer, and Bible study, just watch as God shows up in a miraculous way. It so transformed my life in 7 days that I had to write a book on it. I wasn't intending on writing this book. I wasn't thinking of being an author, but it is now in hand, the first paperback version of the Miraculous Breakthrough Formula. And I want to share this message to the world because there's access to each and every single one of us to breakthroughs. So if that sounds like something interesting to you and you want to grab this book, by the way, just launched it. It's just $15. If you get it from me personally, you can get it on Amazon, but it's like $20 there. So just do it personally, honestly. Message me privately the word book, and I'd love to grab this with you. And continue to come onto these lives. I'm going to be teaching out of this in the next couple of weeks, actually. But in this first week, I'm going over how fasting really is an X factor. This is day 3 of 5. So if this encouraged you, like this, share this. Also subscribe to my YouTube for this plus more. And tune in for the next days for the rest of the series. And also tune in for the previous ones and watch those replays if you haven't seen them as well too. But I know that these promises are going to transform your life. Not because I said it, but because God said it in his word. And stand on his promise. Just watch what happens out there. All right, everyone. But other than that, thanks for being on here. We'll see you on the next conversations. Other than that, God bless. Talk soon. Bye-bye.